Have you noticed how your edge dulls the longer you try to be a good man at home? How your days shift from conquest to compliance? How the will that once built is repurposed to soothe, explain, and coordinate? You call it maturity, balance, partnership. Yet the ledger shows something harsher. Projects abandoned in half-light, standards negotiated into dust, a life reorganized around avoiding friction. Friedrich Nietzsche would call this the domestication of the masculine will, the conversion of creators into clerks. He did not hate love or fidelity. He hated what happens when an institution turns the storm of a man into room temperature. Marriage here names a machine, a moral code, a social court, a schedule that prizes predictability over assent. Enter it unwarned, and you will mistake obedience for virtue, peace for value, and routine for meaning. Enter it awake, and you will either refuse the contract that kills you or write a covenant that preserves your rank. Nietzsche begins with will, the force that says yes to height even when it costs. Domestication redirects that will from becoming to maintaining. The institution speaks in lullabies: stability, safety, shared life. These are goods when they support assent. They become instruments when they replace it. The modern marriage machine does exactly that. It trains men to measure goodness by how little turbulence they cause. It keeps score in feelings, not in forms. It praises absence of conflict over presence of creation. The will corrodes quietly, not by prohibition, but by continual requests that always sound reasonable and always land on the same muscle that once lifted mountains. The pattern is recognizable. You shorten your reach to keep evenings calm. You soften your tone so no one misreads your edge. You swap solitude where vision grows for constant availability, where vision thins. You watch your woman's respect migrate from your risks to your reliability, then from your reliability to your agreeableness, then from your agreeableness to quiet contempt. You become necessary to logistics and irrelevant to meaning. Nietzsche's verdict is not sentimental. A will that stops confronting reality turns inward as bile. He called it resentment, pain alchemized into moral superiority. The domesticated man collects tiny grievances because he no longer collects victories. The house co-opts your highest motives. Protection mutates into control of yourself to avoid her displeasure. Generosity mutates into tribute without end. Empathy mutates into management. The machine rewards these with temporary warmth. Your nervous system learns that the price of peace is your silence. The bill arrives years later, when you can no longer decide without apology. At that point, the myths turn savage. She laments the lost fire while punishing its return. You accuse her of killing it while forgetting you bartered it away. This is not an indictment of women as a class. It is a diagnosis of incentives. Where a system pays predictable comfort above all, both parties drift toward using love to avoid reality. The fix begins with rank, ordering values so peace serves purpose, not the reverse. If the order is wrong, the machine wins. If the order is right, the home can shelter storms without forbidding them. Marriage is graveyard when it prosecutes will. It is monastery when it trains it. Decide which you are building before the walls harden around you. Nietzsche reads civilizations by their economics of honor. In the domestic economy, sacrifice is the coin. The trouble is not sacrifice itself. Every creation costs blood. The trouble is what is rewarded. If the highest payment flows to the man who most reliably cancels himself, the best men will disappear into usefulness, indispensable to chores, useless to destiny. The house will be tidy, the horizon will be empty. This is not tragedy in one weekend. It is drift measured in decades, a slow transfer of the will's capital from risk to reassurance. Study incentives. In many unions, the man who takes a dangerous bet is greeted first with fear, second with grudging tolerance, third with quiet punishment when scant results arrive on schedule. The man who cancels the bet is welcomed with relief and affection. The organism learns. He will not say, "I have been trained." He will call it being realistic. Nietzsche spits at that word when it names capitulation. The realism of men who let domestic applause price their lives. Realism becomes a costume for fear. Another incentive: confession as currency. If harmony is bought by revealing your doubts and repenting your drive, you will become articulate about your softness and dumb about your hunger. Confession feels intimate. It is often just the toll. The home turns therapeutic, and therapy replaces trial, a weekly processing of moods rather than an apprenticeship to tasks. Nietzsche's contempt for herd morality lives here, a bond that enshrines safety as the supreme good breeds small, meticulous souls. Not evil, small. There is a lawful version of sacrifice, and a man can insist on it. Sacrifice aimed at building a shared citadel pays both. Sacrifice aimed at keeping everyone comfortable trains mutual cowardice. The rule is simple. If a sacrifice does not increase capacity tomorrow, it was not holy. It was appeasement. That is a brutal filter, but it keeps a man from giving away the very thing that made him worth joining, his trajectory. It also selects a woman. The one who can love a man will accept temporary discomfort for growing strength. The one who needs a subject will prefer permanent comfort over any glory. Do not ask the machine to reward what it was not designed to buy. Change the incentive or change the contract. Tie affection to truth and delivery, not to public self-negation. Tie celebration to risk taken for the house, not to the absence of storms. Where those prices hold, marriage feeds giants. Where they don't, the ground fills with their gravestones, and everyone says how nice the flowers look. Nietzsche distrusted masks that forget they are masks. The good husband persona begins as kindness and ends as moral blackmail. A costume so praised by the village that a man dares not remove it even to breathe. The mask smiles at every demand, prefaces every truth with apology, and treats conflict as failure rather than as the kiln in which respect is fired. A mask this polished buys social esteem and returns personal decay. Observe the script. He is always understanding. He is never direct. He says we when he means I. He calls his silence patience and his collapse compromise. He learns the high speech of progress and unlearns the low craft of decision. He collects compliments and forfeits command. Nietzsche names this a transvaluation of virtue. Strength redefined as softness, justice as tone, courage as continuous empathy. The mask is not demanded by women alone. Men police it too, pleased to watch a brother domesticated into the image they can manage. The hidden economy is shame. The mask guarantees absolution from the public so long as the wearer admits guilt in private for any rough edge that remains. He becomes a confessional device. Feelings in, edits out. The union turns litigious because someone must keep score of all the unspoken trades. Tears become proof. Sarcasm becomes relief. Sex becomes currency. Truth becomes negotiable. The mask's owner grows adept at posing as safe while he burns inside, then erupts and is sentenced by the same court that once applauded him. See, they say, the mask was necessary. This is how graveyards are landscaped. Nietzsche's cure is not rudeness. It is style under oath, a form so consistent that no court can make you perjure yourself. Style begins with sentences that name the law of the house and the limit of your compliance. I will not be managed by mood. I will say the hard thing once. I will enforce the line without theatre. A partner fit for you will not need a mask to feel safe. She will trust the steel because she can see it, and because it keeps you honest. The wrong partner will mourn the death of the costume and call the man beneath it cruel. Let her verdict pass like weather. What matters is that you stopped substituting acceptance for integrity. The mask can visit on holidays. It must never hold office. The moment you enshrine it, the machine wins. It collects your soul with your smile still attached. Nietzsche prized distance, the charged space that preserves rank, mystery, and admiration. Domesticity erases distance in the name of intimacy, then wonders where desire went. Eros cannot breathe in air that contains nothing but comfort. Without right distance, eyes stop widening, voices flatten, edges turn to etiquette. You become colleagues at a co-op called home. Pleasant, dead. The physics are old. Admiration requires altitude. Altitude requires difference. Difference requires boundaries that do not fold on demand. The modern script calls this withholding and frames all edges as trauma. Nietzsche's ear hears the quieter law. A love that cannot survive borders is not love. It is hunger masked as unity. The home that keeps Eros must practice rituals of distance, private pursuits that resist you, circles of men who correct you, thresholds where silence rules, and standards that do not bend under storm. Then closeness feels like a grant, not an entitlement. Seduction dies when everything is known and always available. It revives when access is earned by behavior, not by mood. This is not game playing, it is governance. Where the man's law is clear and gentle, touch grows warmer because hidden contempt has no fuel. Where the woman's respect shows in pattern, affection that doesn't vanish under boundary, disagreement that doesn't become prosecution. His desire matures from chase into choice. Domesticity, rightly ordered, becomes a hearth, heat inside form. Left to its default, it becomes a humidifier, tepid air everywhere. The common error is to answer dying desire with novelty, trips, toys, scripts, while leaving the core broken. The core is rank. If belonging outranks becoming, if tone outranks truth, if ease outranks earned access, no trick will help. You will stage desire for photos while breeding contempt in private. The repair is unsentimental. Restore rank so that creation leads, covenant frames, and comfort follows. The distance this introduces may feel cold at first. It is the chill of mountain air replacing the sauna. Bodies complain, spirits wake. A warning. Many unions cannot survive the reintroduction of distance because the intimacy was built on its absence. You will be accused of going far away as soon as you stop being constantly reachable. Do not fold. Invite the climb. If she joins, love gains altitude. If she refuses, the truth was always lower than the vow. Nietzsche does not counsel cruelty. He counsels refusal to live where desire goes to die, and everyone pretends this is noble. Domestication steals mornings first. Nietzsche measured men by how they greet the day, with a task that grips them, or with obligations that scatter them. The graveyard takes the form of a calendar filled rim to rim with small, necessary things that never add up to a life. You are crowned logistics king and quietly exiled from your own throne. The story told about you features reliability. The archive under your name features drift. The theft is not always malicious. It is the result of a house without law for creation. Where craft has no protected hours, the loudest need prevails. Where silence has no jurisdiction, every talk is urgent. Where men have no fellowship, every doubt is imported into the marriage and metabolize there until the bond becomes a workshop for a soul that has stopped working. Nietzsche calls this decadence, energy turned inward on itself because it has forgotten an outward task. Recovering legacy inside a union requires lines that cost. Your morning belongs to your work unless blood is on the floor. Your name will be tied to the few things you repeat under weather, not to the many moments you managed. Your partner can have your best if she does not take your first. A woman who can love a man will not compete with his mornings. She will protect them because the glow she loves comes from that furnace. A woman who needs to manage a man will schedule over them and accuse the law as lack of love. The selection is clarifying. You must also stop renting virtue from the role. Marriage does not make you serious. Children do not make you adult. Only kept oaths do. Put work on oath. Put rest on oath. Put presence on oath. Tie each to measurable acts and let the house see you enforce them against yourself. Then when you ask for time, you are not asking for a favor. You are upholding the charter that keeps everyone human. Legacy is not a speech at a birthday. It is the visible line from what you suffered to what you built. The domestic graveyard edits that line into errands. Refuse the edit. If the union cannot abide a man with a spine at dawn, it cannot house a legacy at dusk. Nietzsche would rather you end politely than live politely in decay. Better one clean wound than a lifetime of moral anesthesia. Nietzsche did not command men to avoid marriage. He commanded them to avoid burial. The difference is a charter. Cemetery marriage is governed by weather and tribunals, feelings as law, optics as evidence, appearances as virtue, routine as redemption. Covenant marriage is governed by rank and procedure, purpose first, rule second, repair third, comfort last, and only when it serves the first three. The former produces courteous ghosts. The latter produces adults who can carry weight without resentment. Write the charter before the vows, or rewrite it with a pen that both of you hold. Name the non-negotiables: protected creation, explicit repair codes, no public trials, boundaries that cost when crossed, rituals of distance and of warmth. Tie affection to reality, how you speak under heat, how you keep time, how you answer need, rather than to performances of remorse or performances of romance. Invite witness if you cannot agree, not to stage a show, but to bind yourselves to a process that outlives moods. If this sounds cold, you have been raised on theater. Law is how love survives its storms. Selection follows naturally. A woman built for management will call this tyranny. A woman built for partnership will call it home. She will trade momentary veto power for long security. She will test your law once or twice, and then bless it when she sees herself relax around your reliability. You will test her respect and discover whether she can hold you to your standard without prosecuting your essence. If either fails, separate with honor. Do not drag two lives through a ritual designed to prevent endings by destroying beginnings. Your task in every case is the same. Refuse to be domesticated into the mask. Refuse to be made harmless. Refuse to trade your dangerous yes for permanent neutrality. Bring your edge and your kindness under one seal. Show your house that strength is not noise and that tenderness is not rule. Reserve apology for wrong, not for being a man. Keep mornings for building, evenings for presence, nights for warmth, and courts for actual crimes. You made it to the end, which already marks a man tired of polite decay. If this named the machine that keeps sanding you down and gave you terms to stand on, break the wall. Write in the comments below the one sentence you will live this week that restores rank in your house. Like this video and share it with a brother drowning under the mask of goodness, and subscribe if you want philosophy with teeth. Share it because ideas become weather when men carry them. Nietzsche's charge is blunt. Build a covenant that trains your will, or refuse the contract that